Welcome back to West Texas View.
Welcome back to the West Texas View. I'm Johnny Lou Avery, and I'm recapping some of the programs we've had for the last 21 years, hopefully to jog your thoughts of some programs that you'd like for us to have on the program. So jot down my email address and give me a contact if you want to make any suggestions, ideas, comments, or give me the names of people that you'd like for me to call to be on the program. Before the break, I was talking about having an HIV, the sister of an HIV patient who was on that started a support group. But I also remember another person that we had on the program in relation to Alzheimer's. This person had just been diagnosed, and he was a psychiatrist, had a lot of training in it, but all of a sudden it was happening to him. And so he decided he wanted to take this very sad situation and make it as positive as he could by telling people what he was going through at each stage as long as he could relate to the public. And also to tell the families of people with Alzheimer's patients what to expect and how those patients were feeling. And that program elicited some of the largest numbers of communications I got, feedback from that I got. And then I had a couple of midwives on who taught me that we have a large following in the Permian Basin of people who want to have their babies as natural as possible and have them at home. And these guests talked about what it takes to become a licensed midwife, how many we have in this area. And they talked about the process and the procedures, and it was all very interesting to me, who has lived a pretty traditional life. And so they told me that no, I wasn't the traditional one. I had broken from tradition, the way that they'd had babies since Adam and Eve was to have them at home and not go to the hospital. And we've had lots of Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts talking about the impact of these 200-year-old organizations and how they've taught them things that they've used as they've grown up. In fact, we had Tom Craddock as a guest, and at that time he was the Speaker of the House of the state legislature, but he didn't say a word about politics. Remember, that was one of my rules, we don't talk about politics. He talked about Boy Scouts and what it had meant to him and the leadership skills it had taught him, and how he had used those leadership skills and the discipline skills and the initiatives that he had learned in Boy Scouts to make him a success in business and other things that he had gone into. And then, of course, we've had a lot of master cookie sales girls from Brownies and Girl Scouts who earned enough cookie points to get free summer camping. We had a little girl on talking about the amazement of going to the father-daughter dance for the Girl Scouts, and how Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts and some of the other youth organizations that we featured really foster a family affair. When you're in one of those organizations, your whole family belongs to that organization. But one of the saddest things that we've focused on is the devastation of drugs. It's been important to feature drugs and drug rehabilitation over the years because it has caused such a negative impact on so many people, families, and individuals in our area. We've had PDAP, which is Palmer Drug Abuse Program, and Teen Challenge, and other organizations that approach drug rehab in different ways. And some of them even brought some of their clients who were willing to come on and talk about, from a first-hand perspective, how hard it is to get out of the grip of drugs and the way it tears up families and destroys their lives. And their personal testimonies were both chilling and encouraging and much more impactful than any TV ad or anything else that you could see about it. and one of the young men said, I have been in and out of drug rehab for a number of years, and at that time he was only about 28. But he said it takes a lot of work and a lot of determination to kick the drug habit. And he said, he looked straight in the camera and he said, all I've got to say is don't ever get involved in cigarettes, alcohol, or any kind of drugs, because it absolutely robs you of your life. Along those same lines, a parent involved in the program Shattered Dreams came to talk about his 18-year-old son driving drunk, killing himself and one other person in the car, and badly injuring 2 others. And not only did he kill himself and his friends, but he destroyed their families. None of those families have fully recovered from that. And it's not just the loss of the kids. It's the kind of feeling when they look out and see their friends who they go to church with that had their life destroyed too because of their son or because of the association with that person. And the military plays an important part in our life and in America. And I've featured representatives from all branches of service to talk about career choices and training. And a retired colonel came and was a guest to talk about how your family is affected when you make that into a career and how it shapes your children. And we had a person from the Texas Veterans Land Board who came from Austin to talk about the benefits that were available for retirees, like home loans and business loans, and a person from the Veterans Cemetery in Abilene that came to talk about how to access that facility when a veteran dies. So we've had lots and lots of fun and interesting programs. We've had fun things like the Merry Marketplace and the Tall City Blues Fest and the Oktoberfest at St. Lawrence and the Summer Mummers and the Quarter Horse Show, and just on and on and on. Tourist attractions are always fun to discuss. But this is just a little bit of the type of information that we've featured over the last 1,092 programs. And I hope you've enjoyed this review and it's clicked some ideas that you will send to me, because I'll look forward to hearing from you, and I promise you I will follow up on them. Just email me at the address rolling across the screen, and I hope you join me in appreciating the K-West television station management for their commitment to this type of programming. See you next week with another program, and thanks for joining us today, and join us next Sunday.
Thanks for joining us for News West 9's West Texas View with Johnny Lou Avery. This has been a public affairs presentation of KWAB-TV and KWES-TV.